The Star of India is the world's oldest continuously operating sailing ship. The vessel, originally named the Euterpe, was constructed in 1863 in the shipyard at Ramsey on the Isle of Man in England, and was given the name of a Greek goddess. Since the majority of ships at the time were made of wood, it was one of the first iron ships built. Her construction business put her to use as a cargo ship in the Indian jute trade. The Euterpe had a difficult first journey, experiencing both a ship collision and a plot to commit mutiny. The second trip was just as bad. Despite being stranded in a hurricane in the Bay of Bengal, the Euterpe was able to cut away her topmasts and limp into port. The first captain of the Euterpe succumbed to the pressure. Though he managed to save the vessel, he ended up passing away shortly afterwards on the ship. In 1871, the Euterpe was sold to the London-based Shah Savile Line. The ship transported brave groups of immigrants to New Zealand, Australia, California, and Chile over the course of the following 25 years. Because of her iron hull, adventurer Archibald Campion hired the Euterpe in 1894 for his polar expedition. The Euterpe received a new sailing system in 1901 from her new owners, who also renovated her. This approach produced better performance overall with far smaller and less qualified staff. The Euterpe was sold to the Alaska Packers in 1898, and started sailing in the spring from Oakland, California, to the Bering Sea with fishermen and cannery workers on board. They brought back canned fish when they returned the next fall. The Euterpe was renamed the Star of India by the Alaska Packers in 1906. The Star of India was taken out of service and laid up in 1923, when steamships took the role of sailing ships as the more dependable option. Up until a group of San Diego citizens gathered $9,000 to acquire the Star of India and had her towed to San Diego in 1926, under the leadership of writer Jerry McMullen, her future appeared bleak. There were big renovation plans that were planned for the ship, but then the Depression came, followed by World War II. The Star of India lay there for 30 years, slowly decaying into a weak shell of what it once was. Fortunately, Captain Alan Villars, a seasoned and well-respected windjammer skipper, who was visiting San Diego as part of a speaking tour in 1957, changed her fate once more. Captain Allen let all of San Diego know how angry he was that the people had neglected such a great ship for so long, making a lot of people quite ashamed of themselves. He was incensed by the dilapidated condition of the Star of India. Money was raised for its repair through the establishment of a fund. In addition to the aged hulk's repairs, skilled workers on the waterfront offered their services. The Star of India was not only completely renovated to its former elegance, but it was also made seaworthy once more. The Star of India was once more sailing for a devoted audience by 1976, and it still makes regular trips today. The Star of India was traveling from Alaska back to India in 1909. When he lost his balance in the chain locker, a Chinese fisherman was directing the enormous anchor chain into place. His screams went unheard by the other crewmen as he was killed by thousands of pounds of heavy steel. Rumors claim that the victim was actually killed aboard the ship and then put into the locker, where he was crushed by the chains, eliminating all traces of the crime. Regarding the locker itself, some claim to have felt cold air in areas there. Some other people have also stated that they sense a presence in the space. It's generally accepted that the spirit of that poor fisherman is responsible for whatever is observed in the chain locker. One of the ghosts who has taken possession of the first mate's cabin is that of Lieutenant McBarnett. His spirit is still quite agitated and emits unsettling emotions. The occupants of this cabin were startled out of their sleep by a semi-transparent male ghost who was clothed in a complete British Army uniform and who stood by the bedside, scowling at the intruders and confused why they were sleeping on his bed. In the bunk in the first mate's cabin, one ghost hunter was overcome and passed out. Two hands violently choked him, quickly waking him up. In 1884, the ship and the vessel the Canadian collided as they were leaving Glasgow. 3 people sneaked aboard the British ship as it sailed into port for significant repairs. Young John Campbell, who was 14 years old at the time, was one of them. Campbell was given permission by the captain to remain on board, and earn his keep during the voyage rather than being cast overboard or put in the brig. Young John was eager to pick up the craft and excelled as a seaman. He would frequently play with the others on board during his free time. But after only a few months, young John fell 100 feet from the top of the mast and crashed to the deck below, his legs fractured and covered in blood. 3 days later, he passed away. An unexpected and horrible end came to life on the open seas. Near the spot where little John fell from the mast, some people have reported feeling something brush up against them. Some people have reported feeling a presence touch their backs. Young John Campbell might be gathering everyone for one final game. He enjoys playing the game of tag by drawing the letter S on the back of the visitors. Staff members have also encountered this situation. Some staff members have witnessed his whole apparition moving about the boat and performing his duties. One of the crew noticed a transparent John, who materialized in front of him on the deck. The ghost uttered the words, "Hello." There is also a little immigrant girl, who appears to be trying to find her family. She enjoys playing on the officer's deck in the intermediate level. She also enjoys paying Army Captain McBarnett's ghost visits, because she may have viewed him as a father figure. Researchers have captured her voice on an EVP recording. A phantom was observed by a crew member on the officer's deck quarters, strolling down the hall and into the first mate's cabin while wearing a top hat and formal clothes. This person was undoubtedly a first-class passenger who never arrived at his destination. Despite the lack of concrete proof, but with first-hand accounts, it appears that at least one former captain would choose to spend his afterlife here. The first captain's ghost may visit or reside, likely upset that he had such a difficult time as captain, also because he died there. There also appears to be an evil spirit present. He has been named the devil. Staff members and paranormal investigators have found evidence of him on the lowest level of the ship. Because of what he did there, the ghost of a cook who assaulted numerous emigrant women and girls in his quarters might still be around. The aura in his previous room, which is on the lowest floor, is heavy with evil energy, making it difficult for the living to stay there for an extended period of time. When a new water system was installed, the director of marine operations saved a piece of original wood that was cut out of the hull and placed it in his office on the lower deck. His office has been visited by 4 or 5 ghosts who want to see this piece of wood from the original ship. One day, as he was walking inside his office, a ghost who had been angered that he had kept it as a souvenir shoved him inside. The Star of India has been featured on several TV programs, including Ghost Adventures. So what do you think of the Star of India? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, please like and subscribe.